Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we are currently working on building a lot. And we've got a lot of building left to do here. We're working on expanding our military out because we're somewhat afraid of Ukraine. But to be honest, they're probably not going to do anything. This is mostly just a precaution. So that's absolutely fine, and we are running a small deficit at this moment. There's the electric arc process unlocked, and that's probably pretty good for us. We'll go ahead and bump up to that, and we'll see what problems that cause. We'll address them as they come up. We can also take our arts academies up to photographic art, which we may as well do. Sounds good. And I want to check in here. Okay, we've got some electricity shortages going on. That is definitely noted. Let's go for steam turbines. Yeah. We'll start working on steam turbines. And the electric power plants, we need to go into our private construction real quick. We've got one going in Palestine. Okay, so that's fine, but we still have more that we need to do. For the time being, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sort by earnings, and I see 3 queued up for Palestine right now. Okay, Ukraine is heavily investing in our country. That is noted. So I'm going to just build anywhere where the earnings are positive. Okay, this is going up. This is going up a lot. Apparently we need a lot of power production in Palestine. So I'm just queuing up a lot of power plants right now. This is a ridiculous number of power plants that I'm currently queuing up. This is more power plants than I had anticipated queuing up. We'll put it that way. So that's rather a lot. This is in Persian Kurdistan. Let's not do these. There we go. Okay. So there's still more power plants in Palestine to be queued up here. But we're just going until the earnings are no longer positive. Now, this is a ludicrous number of power plants. I don't know that we're actually going to build this many. And this is in a semi-random order here, right? So we'll do that. That's 68 in Palestine. I mean, that is minus 1.16k. So that's kind of a lot. 36 months worth. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to not build all of these right away. We're going to move up these constructions first. And then we've got all of these barracks and universities. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move up a couple of these barracks at a time. Not too many, just a couple. And we'll just slowly chip through those. Okay, so something like this for right now. We'll get through that, and then we'll see where we're at. We clearly need a ludicrous number of power plants, and we'll get going on those. So that's all absolutely fine. And as we finish these barracks, I want to work on, I don't know, like 3 of them at a time. So we can just move up barracks periodically, and I'm not in the biggest of rushes to get those barracks completed. The power plants, I think, are a far larger need. A stable supply of power. Yes. Power plant throughput or progress on steam turbine. We are taking the progress on steam turbine. Thank you very much. We have a lot of work to do in Palestine, and that will help matters, at least temporarily. So that was good. We'll see what happens with workers' protections here. I'd love to get this passed and get ourselves some regulatory agencies going, because that will explode our population if we no longer have huge mortality. So that's going to be a very big deal for us. Now, we're only working on power plants right now. I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 barracks up. And we'll just work on a few of these at a time. And those get done pretty quickly. Wow, we moved up to consideration already. That was unlikely. 10% chance on that. Okay. I mean, we'll take it. It's theoretically possible we just sail right through. That'd be nice, but I kind of doubt it. So for now, that's okay. Our landowners are very upset. I'm sure they'll be fine. So we're working on power plants again, And the power plants do work their way through fairly quickly. Of course, we don't want to queue up additional things, ideally, if we can help it. We want to work through this queue. So I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. And yeah, there's a number of these barracks that are still in here. It's going to take us a while to work through this, but I don't want to be working entirely on the barracks. I don't want to be working entirely on the power plants. I want to be splitting the difference. So for now, that's okay. I'm keeping an eye on our deficit, which is high right now, but we do have a decent amount of gold reserves. So that looks good. And we'll just continue working away on these power plants. We do have a lot of electricity shortages that we're still running, and that does need to get handled. So that's noted. I'm thinking about just moving up all of the barracks and just getting the barracks taken care of. That was a university. That wasn't exactly what I was looking to do, but it's fine. So let's move these barracks up. Let's get them done. They build quickly. So let's just get this taken care of. I moved up a couple of universities, and I want to move those back down. But let's just get those barracks up there. Again, they build very, very quickly, and we'll just hammer through those nice and quickly. This university can be moved back down. Did we only have one university in that? Apparently we did. Okay. So this is a massive expansion of our military, and is going to be expensive. We hit a debate on workers' protections, and 10% enactment success chance. That doubles our success chance. I like it. That seems solid. Presumably that came out of debate. Yeah, that came out of debate. So that is understood. So we're going to hammer through these barracks very, very quickly. Oil has been discovered in Fars. That's fine. And yeah, it's not going to take us very long to get through these barracks. Excellent. So we're just going to be recruiting on up here, and eventually we'll get these into reasonable fighting strength, but for the time being, it's going to be a little bit. But we got to get this power situation under control. So I'm going to move up the power plants that currently have progress, because I don't want to just be sitting on that progress forever. And we're still working on some barracks in the background, so this seems ideal, actually. That's pretty cool. So we'll continue to work on that. Barracks in the background, power plants in the foreground. I like it. That's very solid. It's going to take us a while to get through all these power plants. And that's not surprising. And it's probably going to create additional problems. Engines are already expensive, and power plants consume engines. So we're probably going to need to expand our engines at some point. We may want to consider at least a small engine expansion. Actually, here in Palestine, this is relatively fine. Job seekers here, not the highest. But I'm going to build 3 in Palestine to bring us up to our... This isn't going to be our economy of scale cap. This is going to be up to 30. So I'm just going to do that for now. And we hit a debate here again. What do we got? This is not a great debate here. Okay, I guess we'll take the populist pressure. That's relatively fine. So we're going to get these motor industries done in 22 weeks. That's okay. We're going to work on these power plants. That's our primary focus right now. Barracks in the background. I want to work a little bit on the barracks here and there. So as we finish some of these power plants, that will be looking good. Unregulated automobiles, huh? Lower strata pops becoming more radical is not what we want right now. Industrialist approval is not the biggest of deals either, but I'll take that for right now. So that's fine, but we want to get that situation sorted eventually. So these motor industries, they're going to take a while to get built, and we're going to run out of workers in Palestine. We're going to need migration into Palestine. And I'm assuming, yeah, we've got pretty good weekly migration into Palestine. So I'm not that concerned about that. That is, of course, our capital. It's our economic capital as well. I don't have significant concerns there. So we'll get some motor industries built here. I keep hoping, I mean, there's this glass works in Baghdad. That's nice. I keep hoping that this will get a little better, but the engine price is just going to improve. Or rather, go up, right? So, okay, here's a private construction of a motor industry. I like that. That's very solid. So we're building these 3 motor industries, and then the rest of our construction is currently going into barracks. And that's fine, but what I really want to do here is I want to move up 1, 2, and 3 power plants. So we're going to be working on, for now, 3 power plants, 3 motor industries, and 3 barracks, like that. Law progressed to adoption. Wow, we're rolling pretty well on this worker protection so far. I mean, that's a good sign. That's definitely a good thing. So we'll get these motor industries done, and once we're done with our barracks, that's going to be a significant thing for us. We're recruiting this up, and we're going to need additional generals here, so that's going to cost us bureaucracy. I'm going to go with not the landowners. We're going to go with the rabbinical council here. That brings us up to 60, and then here I'm going to go with probably the rabbinical council again, or the rural folk actually is fine. That seems okay. And then over here, trade unions. 100% we're going trade unions there. So that looks good for the time being. How are we doing on those motor industries? Well, they're 6 weeks away from completion at this point. Now, I think we're going to need more motor industries than this, to be clear. The price of engines is just continuing to rise at this point. So that's noted. And yeah, we are not in the top 3 of furniture production. I'm not sure we'll ever get there. We'll see. I'm not prioritizing it at this time. Motor Industries is going to be finished soon. I'm checking in on our gold reserves. 1.19 million. Okay, so that's pretty decent still. But we are going to run out of gold reserves eventually. That said, we could cut government wages. We could raise taxes. We've got options. We hit an advance on workers' protections, so that seems great. 20% enactment success chance, or 10%. I'm going to take the 10% here because I'm going to be patient. We're not going to allow this strike to happen because I don't want the 10% hit to our manufacturing industry's throughput, but we are just going to take the 10% increase to our success chance. We'll be patient here. This is almost certainly going to pass at this point. So that looks good. Power plants in Campania are finishing up, and we should probably think about moving up a couple of additional power plants. So I'm going to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. We're still primarily working on power plants, but we've got those barracks progressing in the background. So that looks absolutely great. Checking in here, there's a couple of transportation shortages. Israeli Constantine, oh, never mind, that went away. Let's look at railways anyway. Okay. That's noted. For the moment, I'm not that concerned about it. We'll see if it pops back up in these local shortages. That'll be interesting. So we're going to continue to work through these power plants. We will definitely need to have that happen. Now, what's our peasant and unemployment population? Okay, it's pretty high still. That's noted. We've got about 8 million that are peasants and or unemployed, so we definitely still need to be building jobs. There's no doubt about that. So we'll see what happens with worker protections here. We're about 6 weeks away from finishing up this next batch of power plants, and that's absolutely fantastic. We're, of course, hammering through these barracks pretty quickly. There's no real problem with it, and that'll get done very swiftly indeed. Beautiful. So that all looks good. We're close to getting the steam turbine, actually. That's been very rapid. I like it. Advance again here. So we're going to take that sweet, sweet 10% enactment success chance. Seems great. And we're still running that deficit. We're definitely trickling downward in our gold reserves. That's noted. And a lot of that's probably due to expanding our military. Expanding our military is expensive, so that is absolutely noted. Let's go ahead and grab ourselves some additional power plants here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll move this one up too. It just happened to be there. So that seems fine. We'll get going on those. 11 weeks per power plant. That's really not bad. That used to be a lot more expensive to build power plants. So we've got an electricity shortage in Tunisia and Peloponnese right now. We do see a power plant going into Peloponnese, and we'll get to you in a moment. I didn't expect that to come through quite that quickly, but I do want to move up this power plant in Tunisia. because we have a shortage there right now. That said, coal-fired plants is going to be a fundamental shift. I did not expect to get coal-fired plants this quickly. I'm going to cancel all of the power plants that are down here at this time. And we're probably going to queue up more, but we don't exactly know what the effect of this is going to be. This is going to drive the price of coal substantially. This is a lot of power plants in Palestine. Okay, something like that. And there's this university in Lombardy that's almost done. I'm going to move that up because we're not actually at our innovation cap, so that seems fine. There's these down here. We'll get to those. So at this point, this is what we've got queued up. And we need to hop into here. I'm going to swap our power plants to be coal-fired. This is going to produce a lot more electricity. And absolutely spike the price of coal. We're going to do it, and we're going to see where this sits us at. Okay, so coal was extremely inexpensive. Driving demand of coal is good. We're not going to have a shortage of coal, I don't think. So we're going to let this sit here for a couple of weeks. I think I'll let this sit until we finish all of these power plants that are currently in process here, and then we'll look at building additional power plants. So that's understood. I do want to think about grabbing, like, pneumatic tools. Yeah, let's work on that for now. So that looks good. We'll get going on that. Our gold reserves are definitely struggling a bit. That's not shocking. And we're going to look at... Okay, there's worker protections, which is kind of wild that just cruised right on through. So we can't move this up at this point because we don't have the bureaucracy needed. We would need about 2,179. Okay, so calculator. 2179 divided by 65 means 34 of these, 33 and a half, thereabouts. So that's absolutely something we can do. We can boost this in Campania. So I'm going to bring this up to 50, which is our economy of scale cap. So that's going to be 18. And we know we need 34, right? So we can then put in an additional, like, 20 in Palestine, but we don't have peasants here. So I'm going to do this in Syria instead. So we're going to do... We need a grand total of, I think, 16 here. Like that. If we want to work that all up. Now, I put that up at the top of the queue, and that is where I want that. But I want the power plants to be done first. So we'll let that go. And we'll just slowly work away at those government administrations. They'll build very quickly, but they're going to be expensive. And that's obviously noted. So we'll get that underway. It's going to take some time. But we've only got 2 weeks on these power plants. We'll start hammering away at those government administrations nice and quickly. We're definitely going to want to be bringing up our pop growth, so that's very important. Okay, the bulk of these power plants are finishing now, and that means that we're working on these government administrations rapidly. No shockers there, but that does absolutely need to happen. So that power plant finishes 2 weeks until this other power plant finishes, and once that's done, we can start thinking about our power plant production at that point. So we'll let that finish, we'll let it settle for a couple of weeks, and then we'll take a look at where we need additional power. We do have a transportation shortage in Iran, and that's definitely something that we can do something about. Nope, never mind, that railway is not employed. Not going to build a railway there, so that's fine. So let's get these government administrations dealt with, and we can start working our way up at this point on the workplace safety office. And that'll be absolutely great. So these are in Campania. It's minus 15%. It's not ideal, but we definitely need to get some jobs rolling into Campania. No doubt about that. And our GDP is continuing to soar. We're number 3 at this point, and actually, we're kind of close to taking the number 2 seat. We're nowhere close to Ukraine, and that's not shocking. A university in Sicily? Done. You can do that. Sounds great. So we're going to get these government administrations done quite quickly here. As you can see, we're hammering through them very rapidly, and that sounds amazing. Steel mill expansions going on in the private construction. I mean, I like it. That's good. What's not so good is people colonizing in Africa, but, you know, it's okay, I guess. So let's get these government administrations finished up here. We can now run this all the way to the top, and I'm going to cancel these that haven't started yet. There we go. I think we've got plenty. The 65 doesn't take into account the economy of scale, so we can definitely back off on a few of those, and this is going to be more than sufficient. So that sounds good. We'll get these government administrations finished up. The barracks are going to finish up, and then we don't actually need more power. So at this moment, no power plants are required. Shockingly. Not even in Palestine. That's actually very shocking. Let's check in on our balance of power over here. It's fine. Yeah, coal-fired plants, so powerful. The United States of Europe is protective towards us. I like it. We can definitely make use of that. So we're going to be done with these barracks very soon. We're just working exclusively right now on expanding our military, and I'm okay with that. So we're just going to continue working our way through this. We don't have all that much going on there. Like, there's not much more to be done here, so that sounds good. We're going to be done with that very soon. We've got these universities, and we can start thinking about doing something about the price of paper, which, I mean, we obviously should do. So let's sort by earnings here. I think Campania and Syria are the two most attractive places to do this right now. I'm going to build this in Campania for the moment, and I'm going to continue to build here for a while. Because as we can see, we're boosting the earnings from economy of scale. We can take this up to plus 34, theoretically, in order to max out the economy of scale. Now, I want to sort by name here. Where's Campania? There it is. So this is still 0.56, and honestly, I think we can take this all the way up to the economy of scale cap. This is going negative, but I'm going to go ahead and take it to the economy of scale cap. Now, I did not put those at the top of the queue. Those are at the bottom. I'm going to move these universities down because we don't really need the universities yet. We're actually, yeah, we're at our economy of scale cap. Ukraine is fighting Portugal. Okay. We're going to try to stay out of that one if we can. That would be nice. So we're going to get these paper mills built in Campania. We have negative construction efficiency over there, but things are getting better. So that seems good. We're just about done with our barracks expansion. That seems absolutely phenomenal. And then we'll get some of these paper mills rolling in. Now, there's still some explosives that we could use. And I'm just going to build a couple of explosives factories. And where's the best location? Tuscany. Okay. We'll build 3. We have a shortage of ammunition, and we should probably do something about that. So we're going to put in a munitions plant. Where are our munitions plants right now? Okay. Sure, we'll build in Algiers, and I'll do 3 of those as well. So that sounds good-ish. I mean, it's going to be negative on the actual demand here, but that seems fine. That also gives us the ability to change the production methods for our plants, which we've not been able... Oh, no, this is arms industries, not munition plants. Never mind. Okay, so at this time, we're in debt. I'm going to go ahead and pause our construction. And I don't want to be sitting in debt here. So we're going to pause the construction and start paying that debt right on off. We don't have a lot of debt. It's not going to take us long. We're paying 117 in interest right now. But I don't want to go too much into debt. France sided with Portugal. Huh. United States of Europe isn't involved in this. Honestly, this is probably good for us. If Ukraine gets knocked down a peg or 3, yeah, I'd like that. That'd be a good thing. So at this point, we are out of debt, but we don't necessarily want to be constructing right now. Not for a little bit, anyway. We want to probably let our balance, or rather our gold reserves, build up at least some amount. So we'll work on that for now. Private construction has not been doing a lot of privatization. It's been doing a lot of, well, construction. So that's absolutely noted. A lot of the things we've been building lately aren't things that would be likely to be privatized. So that's absolutely fine. I do want to restart our construction fairly soon. And now seems like about as good a time as any to do that. Ish. Let's see what our balance is. And that's pretty rough. No doubt about it. But let's at least build until we get our barracks all completed, and then we can maybe build up gold reserves again. That way we at least finish our military expansion project. I want to take them up to 60, but our economy is not at the point where we want to do that yet, obviously. So let's let this one finish, and then we will pause our construction now, and that'll be absolutely fine. Okay, so it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to build up a little bit of gold reserves, and then we're going to go back to constructionating. We have a lot of constructionation to do here, and it'll be very good to get all of this done. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Rornaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.